Behind me is the Nissan Hyperforce concept car, and this is a mashup between a Nissan Skyline and the Batmobile. But is it too little too late for Nissan? Well, we're going to find out in a not very normal review. Welcome to Tokyo, and welcome to the Fully Charged Show.
If you like the Fully Charged Show, you will love our Everything Electric exhibitions around the world.
Next up, Everything Electric Australia
and Everything Electric London.
Get your tickets today.
Now, there's not a great deal I can tell you about the Hyperforce concept car behind me. I can tell you it's got 1,000 kilowatts of power, it's got loads of carbon fibre, and it's got something called a plasma actuator, which helps it stick to the floor. But this is all good and well. Concept cars are easy. You can make up facts and figures and numbers because no one's really going to check. It's what you do in reality in a couple of years' time which makes all the difference. And with the Chinese competitors coming to the market in a big way, BYD are actually behind us here at the show. It's what they do in the market, especially in a global market, which will make all the difference. And as we're in Japan, I'd like to make a little analogy. So in Japan, they have this, which is powdered wasabi. Now this is very different from what we get back home, which is this paste wasabi. And that analogy is very much like Nissan. So they have this very unique Japanese-only style for Japan. But for their products, for their concept cars, they need to globalize, become the paste, like this wasabi right here. And that's what hopefully we're going to see today. So there's some really nice details on the Hyperforce, which is a nod to Nissan's past and the skylines of the 80s and 90s. So as you can see, there's a badge on the side. That's a nod to the R31 Nissan Skyline. It does say ARS, which is a little bit unusual. There's also a GTR badge on the front, which is pixelated. This car was developed by Polyphony Digital, the makers of the Gran Turismo game. And I could really see this fitting in that game in the future, and hopefully coming to a road near us soon. So Nissan haven't just released the Hyperforce car today, they've released a trio of concepts, all EVs and all showing the direction of Nissan. This is called the Hyper Punk, meant for a much younger audience, and in fact this car is now available on Fortnite if you do play that game. Now as you can see, it's got massive 23-inch wheels with triangular lights on the inside. Now that's a really interesting design touch. A lot of these designs might not make it to the actual real version in the future, but they're bringing in some really nice design elements which you'll definitely see. Now on the interior, what they've done is brought in these really lovely origami design elements, and I like that because BYD have done the same in their cars, bringing in cultural elements into the cars. Now whether this works on a global scale or whether this will actually make it into a production car will yet to be seen, but it's a really clean interior, 4 sort of seats, but not quite. Unfortunately, we can't sit in it today. So this is the really interesting origami pattern. Obviously, this is never going to make it to a full production version, but it's an interesting design element. I love it. The interior is completely impractical, but as a concept, it's fantastic. 2 pedals, obviously it's an electric car. The gear shift knob is on the steering wheel. It's got the very small kind of steering wheel there. Screens everywhere, but very minimalist interior. You can see a lot of the Nissan Ariya in the back end here. Although they've got these funky LED lights down here, also won't make it to production. There's a lot they can carry over, and I think this is quite an exciting new direction for Nissan. If their EVs are going to look like this in any way, even 10%, I think that's going to be fantastic when they come out on the road. Now this is the Hyper Tor, and it's based on the Japanese hospitality called Omotenashi, I think that's its name. And it's like a living room on wheels. It's got 4 seats, all facing each other, as well as a kettle in the middle. And it's super luxurious as well. Now this is a super strong statement of intent that Nissan are serious about EVs, but not just sports car EVs, but family EVs and saloon EVs. EVs for everyone. And this, as a design, is outstanding. And I think it would do really well on the global stage. Now this is a really striking front end and it looks less concepty and more production ready. Now of course this has LED screens on the front showing all these patterns, and this is on a lot of production cars now in China, like the Hi-Fi. You can display lots of different designs or swear at other people on the road. That's what this is good at. And the really interesting thing about here is this is completely empty, so behind the logo there's nothing there, it's just air. And I like this statement, I like how this really comes together at the front end to finish off this MPV package. Now if even 10% of this came to the market, it'd give cars like the VW Buzz a real run for its money. This is on another level of luxury and makes the VW Buzz seem like it's got hard plastic seats. I hope this comes to market looking a little bit like this. While Nissan have a very clear path in front of them with their new concepts, it's what happens with production in the next 18 months to 2 years that will make all the difference. However, if you want to see what Nissan are doing with their electric vehicles right now, why not watch my Nissan Sakura video right now? Come on guys, why are you still here? Click on the link. Yeah, oh, sorry. I want to press the button this time. Ready? Bye-bye train. So much fun.